Well, Ni has begged me to reserve my comments about his school, so I'll not go there. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, the Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana, and all other protocols duly observed. Let me also stand on the established protocols so we can save time. Exactly a year ago, when I was invited to give a brief comments as I'm doing at this commemoration, I struggled to contain my anger about what I saw in the morning. But I mustered enough courage to declare that what we were seeing on that day will be the last time any such thing will happen at the commemoration of the passing of the King of Peace. Because for the past so many years, we have had to endure the contradiction of commemorating the passing of a man of peace in the midst of some confusion. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, today the story is different. And in my mathematical lessons in school, we were taught that when there is a formula that contains constants and variables, where the answer changes, that change in answer can only be attributable to the change in the variables. So the formula for the celebration of this event has remained the same formula. The date, 24th July, has remained the same. The true family of Professor Mills has remained the true family of Professor Mills. The leadership of the National Democratic Congress has remained the leadership of the National Democratic Congress. The only, and I guess to say that my former deputies have remained my former deputies. The only variable that has changed is the swapping of positions of two very important people in this country. And they just swapped their positions perfectly. One from a former president to the sitting president. And the other one from the sitting president to a former president. So if this celebration is happening in a peaceful atmosphere, that is the true reflection of the lives and beliefs of Professor Mills. Then your guess is as good as mine as to who was the cause of the confusion in the past. I have peace in my mind, peace in my heart, and I believe that Professor Mills is enjoying peace in his grief. I thank you very much, and may God bless our whole life.
Thank you very much. This one is self-comparable. On this exciting note, you know, many do not know Professor Mills. He was a very
Thank you very much. Exactly 13 years. Today we lost a very great man. The weather, I remember, was exactly the same. And after his death for many months, the weather in Accra remained overcast and cold. There was a certain cold, you know, that swept over the land. And so today is almost exactly like the same day that the unfortunate tragedy overtook this country. So let me proceed on the established protocol and acknowledge two important persons, Her Excellency Vice President Jane Nano Kwajimai and the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Abram Baglin, and our party executives, Council of Elders, and all the many friends and family of Atta who have gathered here today. We have gathered here once again on this sacred ground we call Asiedu Park, under the gentle shade of remembrance to mark the 13th anniversary since the passing of a man whose life, leadership, and legacy continues to speak profoundly to the conscience of our nation from his grave. 13 long years may have passed, but for many of us, the pain of Professor John Evans Atta Mills' departure will always remain fresh. His sudden transition on July 24, 2012 left not only a deep vacuum in our political and national life, but also in the hearts of those who knew him well and worked with him and were touched by his quiet strength and unwavering humanity. This annual moment of reflection is not just a ceremonial act. It is a national duty and an occasion for us to pause and remember the values that guided the man we honor today, which were humility, integrity, discipline, and above all, peace. Professor Mills was a rare breed of leader. He stood tall not just in intellect, but also in his moral stature. In the often turbulent world of Ghanaian politics, he was always calm in the storm, a voice of reason, a voice of restraint, and a voice of hope. His was not the politics of insults or vengeance, but the politics of service, compassion, and reconciliation. Even in the face of provocation, he responded not with anger, but with grace. Even when confronted with betrayal or disappointment, he remains steadfast in upholding his principles. He never allowed power to change who he was. He remained until his last breath a servant of the people, a man of peace, a man of God, and a man of Ghana. As his vice president and one who worked very closely with him, I saw these values in action every day. I witnessed his concern for the most vulnerable in society, his tireless efforts to extend opportunity to every Ghanaian, regardless of background. He was not loud, he was not flamboyant. He believed that leadership should be lived and not performed. Professor Mills governed this country with a deep moral compass. He placed truth over expedience, and he puts people over politics. And he placed the country over self. These are the lessons that continue to resonate, particularly in these times when our politics can be very divisive and disconnected from the hopes of the ordinary Ghanaian. As we stand here at this resting place, we must ask ourselves, what does it mean to truly honor the memory of this great man? It is not enough for us to lay wreaths at his grave once a year. It is not enough for us to sing his praises in death. The most authentic tribute we can give Professor John Atta Mills is to carry forward the values that he held dear. Is to rekindle the spirit of humility and accountability. Rekindle the spirit of ethical leadership that he exemplified. He believed in justice, not just as a legal principle, but as a way of life. He believed that peace was not the absence of conflict, but the presence of fairness and dignity. He believed that the power that was entrusted to leaders should be used to uplift the weak, protect the vulnerable, and give voice to the voiceless. In a world that is increasingly impatient, increasingly loud, and sometimes careless with truth, Professor Mills's life reminds us of the power of stillness, strength in gentleness, and the enduring force of quiet conviction. Today, our country faces many challenges. We inherited an economy in deep distress. We face social divisions that threaten our cohesion and a growing weariness among our people. I think there's one lesson we draw from the life of President Mills. It is that no challenge is insurmountable. When we lead with integrity, when we listen with empathy, and when we govern with principle. It is that lesson that I strive to follow in the reset agenda that we have adopted. So let me say for emphasis that our reset agenda today rests on the foundation of the Better Ghana agenda that was laid by Professor J.E. Mills. Asiedu Park is not just a final resting place, it is a national symbol, a living reminder of what our politics can be and must become. It calls to us to lower our voices and elevate our purpose. It calls on us to be kinder and more accountable, and to remember that in the end, leadership is about legacy. And it's not to be found in statues or slogans, but in the lives of the people that we touch and the examples that we leave behind. To the family of President Mills, we continue to share in your grief and we honor your strength. Your loss was not only yours, it was Ghana's loss. And we will continue to walk with you as we keep his memory alive. To the people of Ghana, let us recommit ourselves to the Ghana that Professor Mills believed in. A Ghana that is united in diversity, strong in values, and anchored in peace. And to Professor Mills, our father, our leader, our teacher, I say, rest well. You may be gone from our sight, but you are never gone from our hearts. Your work lives on in us, and your legacy will continue to light our path. May the soul of Professor J.E.A. Mills rest in perfect peace. Amen. Before I sit, I think our auntie raised the issue of the Professor Mills Memorial Library. And the Honorable Kofi Kwache has been library from the time it was built. And after we left office, it was handed over to the University of Cape Coast, I remember. After we left office, it fell into a state of disrepair. And we had held this discussion already, and I can tell you that Kofi Totobi and a small group are already working on bringing that memorial library back to the shape in which it should be. And we can be sure that we will let it achieve the objective for which it was set up. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr.